Well, hey, here I am live, coming to you from Turkey Cock Mountain at the Dixieline Connection, American Times Publishing Company, promoting my new book, the one and only Fat Bill by Fat Bill. It's selling fast, it's been selling well, and you get a copy of that, and you get a hard drive, a zip drive loaded with goodies. All for $50, including shipping anywhere in the United States. I can send you all the information at the click of a mouse. I think I can do it there. Let me see if that's. Let's see. No, that's still too many characters. Gotta only have 299 characters. I'm already. No, 200 characters, and I'm at 299. Hmm. Anyhow, I guess I could cut those. Oh, it just killed my. There we go. And it still won't work. Anyhow, the hell with it. I think I got the other half loaded. There's the other half of it. Anyhow, help yourself. Help yourself. So, I got a big show, big show, big show lined up tonight. Got some good subjects. So, we'll wait. We'll wait a little while. Burn one while we're waiting. So, but who all's in the room tonight? Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Share the video with your friends. Tell your friends what you're watching. Always something fun to watch. YouTube's got all kinds of crazy stuff on it. I saw a Volkswagen on here today. It had 12 wheels. So that was crazy as could be. What's some of the crazy stuff y'all seen on here this week? An informant. Man, oh man. I want to know all your secrets. I want to know everything. I'm looking to know everything about everybody, man. Man, I don't even know what's going on today. I don't even care. You um, God bless Tony Montana. What a shame to waste that name. Oh, Grand Champion LT Trey. Hey, what's going on, man? That's a great name. Historian, what's the word, brother? What's going on tonight? I just got in wrestling a 40-pound dog. I'm putting him on a cable run. And of course, he's got enough room to get inside his doghouse. It also gives him enough room to get his chain up underneath the doghouse. So he decides to get it up underneath his concrete bowls and the doghouse. Anyhow, I got it straightened out. Uh, That was awful fun. Bird's a word. Thunderbird. Thunderbird's a word, man. It's Monday. What flavor? Mandarin. Mandarin Orange Thunderbird today. It's on sale. $1.99 a bottle. Buy two. You'll need one later. Oh, man. That's my buddy. He wants to be in his kennel. He don't want to be out on the cable run. He wants to be in his kennel, so anything he can get in trouble with on the cable run, he's been doing it. Um, he's got a big 10 by 20 kennel, and he loves it. But I'm trying to break him of it, and get him out on the yard, get him where he's got some space to run. He doesn't realize how much space he's got out there on that cable run. He's just utilizing a small space, and he'll figure it out. He'll figure it out. He's a smart boy. No, it's just been a couple days. Well, I might not either. But there's also places to look a lot of that stuff up nowadays. Big thing I look at when I look at dogs are the patterns of the way that they bred them. You know, if you look, a lot of these breeders will just make the same breeding. People like Carver, Ronnie Boyles, they just make the same breeding over and over using different dogs, but it's the same breeding. It's the same mix of dogs. They'll find something that works and they'll just keep making it until they can't use those dogs anymore. Well, I met him, and man, he was a really, really good dude, classy guy, classy dude. Always dressed real sharp, nice guy. I actually matched into him one time, and they forfeited. We matched into that shorty dog with my storm dog. That's why you got all those pictures of Bobby Hall and me and Russ and Denny. That was that day. But just a classy guy with top notch dogs that he got from Boudreaux and took him down there to Mexico um, and then he got in with Bobby Hall and they were breeding up those Carlos dogs coming through. Um, that Carlos dog, he was really out of that Samson dog. He wasn't out of Robert or whatever they had him out of, Swamper or Robert or whatever it was. But he he uh, he mixed that stuff with it, and then the one thing that he did that I liked, of course, was that he used the Zebo blood with his Eli dogs, and I think that always set a lot of that bully son Maverick Eli type stuff apart. Um, of course, there at the end, his favorite dog was Hard Times. They were all chasing after that Hard Times stuff there at the end. Um, oh yeah. Well, I mean, Jerry's the one that bred Eli Jr., Bully Son, and Brendy. I mean, that's the man right there. He's got the golden touch, man. Yeah, man. What's up? Yeah, Jerry had that golden touch. He just knew how to put them together. Um, and he'd tell you how to put them together when you got them from him. He'd tell you how to breed them. He'd give you the right dogs to breed together and tell you exactly how to breed them. I mean, he was just, you know, real straight up guy. Still is. I mean, he's kicking around right now, probably playing chess. He's a chess master. What about international dogmen? We got any international dogmen on here? We got 8 people in here. Well, I mean, they're really one and the same. I mean, like for instance, when I was getting puppies from Jerry, a lot of times I would have to drop off one to Floyd. When I got my pup out of Skull and Flash, which was the litter mates, the Durango Red, and Floyd's dog was called, I forgot his name, but I dropped that dog off at Floyd's. And then when I got my pup, my dog out of my dog Levi, Floyd got a bitch out of that litter that I dropped off. So Floyd got a lot of pups from Jerry's yard. Um, they were basically the same dogs at the time I was dealing with him. They were real similar, the 2 yards. Jerry having more 6 bits blood, and Floyd at the time using a lot of that Cujo blood as his out. But that was really the only difference in the 2 yards. Otherwise, they were both using the same Maverick stock. So, I mean, Jerry was going over there and breeding the Skull. So, but this is all the way back in 1992, 93, 94, back in that time. Mr. Bixler, what's going on? Yeah, this was 26 years ago. So at that time, the yards were really close. Yeah. What about international dog men? You guys know any international dog men? I know a few. Like I said, I got my buddy that we interviewed in France the other day, and I got a good friend in Malaysia, and uh, you know, but used to know a whole lot of people all around the world. Um, Not so many nowadays that I talk to, on the regular. So, but I used to talk to a lot of people from South Africa, and I was talking to a guy down there one day. And I think I thought he was a white guy, and I think I said something that made him mad. He was a black guy, and I don't know. I didn't mean to do it. It just, I don't know what I said offended him. And all of a sudden he starts telling me he was black and pissed him off. What's going on? And then Croatia, we got that friend out there, that Zanetti Deville. He's a pretty cool guy. You got me thinking about um, international dog men and different ones I know. And I know some guys in Japan, and that's a wild scene out there. Um, Being active with the dogs is legal in Japan. They don't gamble on them, but it's legal in Japan to campaign your animals. And you know, uh, it is what it is, and they do it like, they'll have it like at the mall. I mean, I've seen video of it. I mean, they'll have it out right out in public. It's pretty wild stuff. It shows the difference in culture. Yeah, Red Boy gets bigger the further you go away. When you're dealing with Red Boy dogs close to home, it's a smaller dog. The further you get away, the bigger they get. Cool, man. That's nice. I know that guy, that Akabe guy. Here's that article on gameness. It was in the Washington Post today. Did any of you guys see that? I talked about it a little bit today. You got to check it out. So this guy's talking about using your dogs for like endurance work, and it's like a type of contest that these people are having all around the country, where you take your dog and just do different type of tests of endurance with your dog. And the dog that proves to be the smartest and the strongest is the winner. And man, it looked pretty cool. Well, I think that was the common misnomer of those dogs that kept a lot of the Carolina people away from the Texas Eli dogs, because as soon as we started breeding those Maverick dogs into the yards, man, it upgraded everything. Um, I mean, if that had happened 20 years earlier, um, I think you'd have seen a lot better dogs. I mean, instead of dogs like you know Chinaman Rufus and Homer being oddities, they would have just been there would have been a lot more dogs like that in the Carolinas. You know, but uh, you know, because of that, the Texas Eli dogs weren't his game. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Just like I don't believe the rascal dogs lack ability. I think both those bloodlines are good all round dogs. Job done. Because I seen them do it. Oh yeah, that's a good looking dog, Antoine. Tall dog. Had lots of leg to it. You know, the thing with both those bloodlines is that people tend to inbreed them. And whenever you inbreed, you always get, you know, dogs that tend to miss the mark. And whether that's less ability or not as game or whatever. But I certainly wouldn't judge a bloodline by the inbred examples of those bloodlines. Yeah, I don't know, man. We had lots of rascal dogs that weren't doing that. Just depend what rascal blood you were messing with, I guess. I guess that was that Kimsey Woods rascal stuff. Because I know that rascal stuff that I was fooling with coming through Two Eyes and coming through Pedro. I don't think we ever had a 2 hour dog. But and really, like I said, I really feel it was a misnomer that we were kind of scared off from those Texas dogs back in the day. Um, I I'll tell you what. As soon as I found out about them, I was like, "Damn it, man! I could have had my own Eli dogs a long time ago, and wouldn't have had to be going over here studying to these people's other dogs." Yep. Well, I mean, they're just clumsy dogs anyhow. And I've seen plenty of them through Big Mike. You know, those are kind of like, you know it, you know it. They weren't stupid. We was all listening to Mayfield. So no, fuck them dogs. We got better dogs. We up here breeding the cur-ass snooty dogs. Thought we had something. Bad, bad, bad. Oh, didn't have shit. Didn't have shit. Oh, but you know the what do you call it, Greg? The phenotype. The phenotype was available, and those guys put it out there for us, and they were nice enough to share it. Jerry Clemens is just, again, a stand up guy. So is Floyd. Both of them, man. You can go down there and get a really nice dog from either one of them back in the early 90s. And they treat you right. I mean, Floyd, we went down there and studied the Maverick 3 times, and we studied the Nikita once. And every single time, he treated us like just really, really good people. I mean, I've been to his house many times. Now, I didn't go down there for all those breedings. Russ handled a lot of that, but I've been to his house many times, and Floyd's just matter of fact, I've been to Floyd's house more times than I've been to Jerry's house. Yeah, I was pretty upset, man. You know, um, that's why we really put the hammer down on Two Eyes. I wanted to see him quit, and turns out to be the gamest dog I ever owned. I mean, it just is a plain fact that the gamest dog I ever owned was out of Bandit. So, a lot of great dogs quit. A lot of shit happens. I always wanted some of that outlaw blood. And the way it all happened, if I had known what Bandit was going to produce, man, I'd have probably bred 2 or 3 more bitches to him. And that's the truth. Of course, you don't have a crystal ball to know those things. But if you had told me he was going to throw a dog like Two Eyes, yeah, I'd have bred every bitch on my yard to him. It's rare. I had one pop up a few years ago out of a brindle and a black dog. It was a gray brindle bred to a black dog, and we had an all red dog pop up out of that. And then sometimes, a lot of times when I breed to a red dog with the black dog, we'll get some red dogs, but it's rare. But once in a while, one will pop up, especially if you put a little out blood in there. If you throw a little out blood in there and kind of let the blood breathe a little bit, it'll kind of go back and throw those brindles and throw those red dogs. Who knows, man? She was a good one. Her bred to Virgil would have been nice. Man, yeah. Them old dogs look like they're just going to burn right through you. Oh, red eyes. I thought you said red dogs. I need to put my glasses on. Oh, man, he was an ace. I mean, he was, I mean, you really couldn't say anything bad about Virgil himself. I mean, he was just a first class bulldog. Um, you know, Probably a bit of a freak, and I don't really know if he's producing like you'd probably want him to produce, in the second generation and stuff, from what I've been hearing. But you know, it's tough when you get something bred like that where you don't even know how your dog's bred. I mean, from what I understand, They don't even know if he's a Colby dog or a Panther dog or what now. So I mean, for Christ's sake, I don't know how you can breed a dog if you don't know how it's bred. I don't know. I never bred to him. No. I did breed the Panther. I bred Bolero to Panther. And we got 3 pups out of the litter. I had a bitch, and Matt had a bitch, and Rastaman had a male. And it was one of those litters that just kind of faded off into the mist, man. They just different shit happened, and they never really made it out to getting bred or anything like that. So, but Matt had one, and Rastaman had a male called Hungry. They were all good dogs. Everybody liked them. I think my bitch got stolen, if I remember right. I used to get a dog stolen back then in McLeansville. Somebody'd steal a dog off my yard about once a year, maybe every 10 months. Somebody'd steal a dog. I never said anything about it. I'd just do my best to try to find them. But I think mine got stolen. So, but to be honest with you, I don't remember what happened to mine. She might have died of parvo or something like that. I don't know. But, yep, for sure did. But that's the only time I ever bred to them. Yeah, who knows, man? Who knows? I mean, if you look at the motive, those guys had no motive to hang any papers. They were just selling dogs out of like a little newspaper thing, like a trading post for a couple $100 a pup. I mean, what would their motive have been to hang papers on those dogs? And if they were out of the Panther male instead of the Colby male, why would you put the Colby male's papers on them? It doesn't make any sense. No. Anyhow, I don't know. You get mixed up in that shit. That's why when I do shit, man, I go and breed to the dog myself. Make a breed, and I make sure I'm standing right there. You know, none of that. I think it's bred like this because somebody told me, and you know, might be like that. You know, just like with Bandit, I was standing right there. When you see him in the pedigrees, I was right there. When I bred the Chinaman, Frisco, Pedro, all of them, I was standing right there breeding to them dogs. Most unassuming dog man comes to mind. Yeah, what was that dude's name? Kevin Hartle. You ever heard of him? The deer hunter. I lost to him twice. I lost to him twice. You know, as a matter of fact, I ended up borrowing a dog from him. Um, he had that deer hunters grand champion Captain Crunch. Well, his first match was against me, and I lost to him. Then dog goes on to become a grand champion, and after that, we well, he didn't actually make grand champion yet. He was like a 3-time winner, and we were going to use him to match into Panther, and we called Panther out, and a whole bunch of drama went down, and we couldn't get it set up. And I agree, Panther was an older dog. He was like 6 years old, and you know, so. But anyhow, but that was pretty cool that I lost to the guy twice, and then was going to borrow his dog that I lost to, and use him against Panther. It was pretty cool. But that's how nice he was. Oh, sure, man. When Bolero went into Bridget, Barney handled and conditioned, and when I went into the Garp dog off of Rufus and Abigail at Barney Feist Pig Picking, he handled and conditioned. I used the Thunder Dog off of Stomper and Chance, and then he went into Champion Mr. Rabbit, and he used a brother to Vespers. I can't remember the dog's name, but those are the 3 times off the top of my head I can remember going into him. Hey, what's up, Jane? Augusto? What do you say? Pokemon. No, I didn't have nothing to do with Zebo, man. That was way before my time. That was way before my time. Oh, I'm 80s and 90s. Zebo was straight up 70s. By the time I come along, they were standing in line to breed to him. Now, I did go up there with a guy to breed to him one time when he was at Rick Johnson's in Kentucky. And people were waiting in line to breed to the dog. I kid you not. You know, they were waiting in line. Well, I mean, they only brought him out one time. What's that mean? I mean, you're there in the heart of everything in the Carolinas, and you come out one time against Boss Hogg, who weighs like 300 and something pounds, that conditioned his dog by throwing the leash out the window of his Buick and riding up and down a dirt road. I mean, step up, you know, maybe step up a little bit. But, it is what it is. He was a one-time winner. So you can't make chicken salad out of chicken shit. Can you? I mean, they had their chance of glory, and they chose doing what they did. So, you know, they had their reasons. All you got to do is ask him. I mean, he's around. Ask him why he only was a one-time winner. And if he says nobody go into him, that's a fucking lie. That's a lie. Wouldn't maybe nobody go into him in the neighborhood, but would they go into somebody they didn't know what they were bringing? Would they just go into any 55-pound male And the answer to that was no, absolutely not. And that was the difference. That's the difference between greatness and regularness. That's right, man. There was way too much competition back then. Oh, because he started selling dogs. I mean, every time he got a good dog, he sold it. He couldn't keep a good dog on his yard. Lonzo committed the ultimate sin all the time. Yeah, but as far as them ducking and stuff, man, it wasn't much of that. I mean, Huckleberry got hooked right after Crenshaw ducked him into Crazy Side Kennels, and it wasn't hard to get him hooked. But yeah, Lonzo, one of the ultimate sins you can do is sell your best dog. When you sell your best dog, you create this bubble in your bloodline that's almost impossible. It's like getting um, air in your brake line, and you know your brakes don't work anymore. And it's the same thing when you sell your best dog. I mean, think about all these guys in the past that sold their best dog, and then what happened to their yards. Let's think of some people. I'll give you a great example. Lester Hughes. What happened to all his dogs? And he did it 3 times. Lonzo sold Zebo. He sold Vindicator. He sold Mike. He sold every good dog he ever got. And so it doesn't give you a chance to breed these dogs back to the good bitches that you got. It doesn't give you a chance to produce good females off these good males. And it produces these bubbles in your bloodline where you end up having to use inferior dogs to breed to your females, which of course produces inferior females. And then next thing you know, a couple of generations later, you got a bunch of retarded looking dogs like Lonzo had. So, I mean, that's what happens. His dogs got real small, real stocky, real thick. They didn't look like Zebo dogs anymore. They almost look like them little bullies, especially there at the end. Now, of course, there was the people out there breeding his stuff that were keeping it looser, and there were some beautiful animals out there. He campaigned a dog back in the late '90s, a dog named Champion Lucius, and I refereed his championship. It might have been his fourth time out. And man, you talk about a good looking dog now. This is a big, tall, black son bitch. His ears cut, teeth like that. I mean, he was a beauty, man. I think if you look him up, it was Magic Man's Champion Lucius. Yeah, there's lots of guys that did it. Matt McGee sold Panther. Hell, it got so tough on him, he had to come up here and breed the Two Eyes. And that's the truth. Well, from everything I understand, I mean, like when I saw the dog, he was just an old stud dog, just, in a kennel. He wasn't trying to bite anybody. And as far as Dave Adams being dead, I would have to say no. As far as I know, the only one that's dead out of that bunch is Dean Hudson. So, hey, they were pretty good. I had one that I let that guy that's in here, John Langasty or Lang Story, whatever he calls himself. Um, I let him get the bitch I had out of that litter. I got one pup out of that litter, and he said it was one of his favorite dogs, and he doesn't even like me. So that was pretty good. And those guys are still breeding it, and that was 20 years ago when we made that breeding. They're still using it, so I reckon it was pretty decent. Yeah, I mean, that was Lonzo's main stud dog, and him and that Elvira bitch and the spider female and those dogs. And I mean, once in a while, old King Elvis would put one on the ground, man. I guess. All I know is the dog's name was Lucius, Magic Man's champion Lucius. Oh yeah, man, I don't feed nothing anybody else bred unless it's like it's a long procedure. Um, I'm I'm actually right now getting ready to bring some fresh blood on the yard for the first time, and well, since I got those Clemens dogs in the '90s, we're bringing that Villy blood in, and this is taking this is a 10-year process doing this. So because we started out with the grandmother of this dog as a puppy, so it's been a long process doing this. Yeah, how'd they work out, PK? I'll just making a point about how good that little bitch was. How'd they work out, PK? Uh-oh, I heard that. I heard that. Well, what I like about it is they remind me of my dogs. Um, they they look like my dogs. They act like my dogs. They're built like my dogs. So even though they're not related to them except way, 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 way back, when I make this cross, it's not gonna like really change my animals. It's just gonna bring in, it's gonna freshen my stuff up without making them look all wacky. And so I like that. Um, I like I like how tough that old Billy dog is. He's a pretty tough old dog. My buddy, he went to go see Zanetti and he popped right out of Billy and fire my guns. And then he raised that pup up and then he bred it to a pure male from my yard called Cupid. And then I got a male out of that litter. He's 5 years old. And we're getting ready to start breeding him into the yard. I'm assuming dog man. Yeah, we'll see how it works out. I mean, the little dog I got, he's a Zebo looking dog. I mean, he looks just like Zebo. He, I mean, you could probably take a picture of him at the right angle and turn it black and white, and you'd think it was Zebo. Oh yeah, well basically we've already done it, man. We've already done it. Let me see if I can bring it up. Hang on a second, I'll show it to you. Hang on a second here. No, this and this one, and this one. Yeah, check this out right here. Yeah, check that out right there, man. You're shit when you see that. And that's the real. Man, I just got lucky, Pokemon. I was there at the right time. And I wasn't scared to go into the best guys, you know? Like, and I'd hear about a great dog, and man, I wanted to go into them. I wanted to, and the best way to see them was to go into them, wasn't it? And the best way to meet the best people was to go into them. So that's what I did. And and everybody had that opportunity back in the 80s and 90s to go into all those people. I went into and beat, Harry Hargroves, Irish Jerry, James Crenshaw, Don Brote, David Tant, Durant Cottingham, Mountain Man, the Potters, Tennessean, um, uh, Barney Fife. I mean, I just keep on going, man. I mean, I beat all them people. Fletcher Chavis, Ernest Hollingsworth. I just keep going. I beat them all. Now I lost. I lost plenty of times. So, but I whipped a bunch of ass. So, and that was, I think that had a lot to do with it. And then I helped a lot of people, you know, um, by doing the videos and running the magazine. I've always been willing to help people. And I think that's had a lot to do with helping me because I hear a lot of questions and stuff that I'd have never thought of myself, and I'd be like, oh, hell, that's a good idea, and it would help me with my condition and what I was trying to learn about by helping other people. Oh yeah, man, you ain't kidding. Yeah, they were all right. Yeah, they were all right. It seemed like they were game. Nah, see, Backstreet True and all those people were after me. I was out of the dogs when those guys come along. Now I knew Bob Hackman. See, I was up here in Missouri with the Fowlers and all that bunch. That was a long time ago. Long, long time ago, man. You know, last time I seen Don Brode, I whooped him in an hour and 35 minutes at George Long's house. Same place that Homer and Jeep fought. No, I never saw Shady Lady. All that took care, and all that was down in in Florida, down there at Ricky Jones's place in Okeechobee, and we went down there a couple times with some dogs, and um, but never really went down there to go spectate. Um, I showed a bitch out of Rascal Jr. down there for Floyd Hicks and won with her. She was out of Rascal Jr. and might have been Miss Rage. She's a good bred bitch. One of them secret breedings. You know, and then we went up to his place in Tennessee a couple times and matched dogs. Best dog nobody's heard of. Oh man, we were talking about him last night. My Norm dog. Yeah, my old Norm dog, I'd have to say, would be the. Oh, George Long had some good dogs now. Oh, Norm, he was right out of Clemens, Dick, and New Granny. And New Granny was out of Two Eyes and Granny. Granny was out of Chinaman and Bolero. That Dick dog was out of Maverick to a bitch out of Maverick. I mean, was out of Maverick, bred to a bitch out of Maverick, sister bred to a son of Toby. So, real good bred dog. Real good bred dog. Oh yeah, man. He just was one of those dogs that dropped dead one day, like 7.5, 8 years old. He'd been bred a couple times, was planning on being bred more, and he just fell over dead. Pretty straight Eli, yeah. Pretty straight Eli coming through a couple different strains. But is it one of those that stuff I like where it's that heavy bolero on the bottom and then different Eli on top. No, again, those guys come along after I got out. Oh yeah, you better know what you're doing messing with them dogs. Well, look, my dogs are barking again. I need to go check on that boy out there that's on that cable run. I think I'm going to move him into his kennel for the night, and he's having a hard time. So I'm going to go ahead and end this stream. And I might come back on in a little while. No, never went against Kemmer. Never matched into Kemmer. I seen him match. I seen him dust Durant Cottingham like a man, just woo. When they went into that Miss Rufus dog, they took her out. Yeah, man, I need to run. They're barking. I need to go check on my boy. He's having a hard time. I might come back. I'll talk to y'all later.